So on the 31st of December, everybody is in a jovial mood. You are at home. You are not even in any place. You are home, where everybody is happy. It's New Year's Eve, and you are troubled by the crime that is happening. You trying to think what needs to happen and all of that, and then you come to a conclusion that the crime intelligence post must be stopped. The advert of those posts must be stopped immediately and all of that. How does that help resolve your problem of crime? Because you are troubled by crime. How does stopping posts help you to fight this thing of crime?
No, posts were not going to be, they were going to be discussed at the first meeting as per directive with the National Commissioner. So he said stop until we discuss the matter, which would be in January. And this was the 31st. Now, it is indeed, as you say, everybody else was busy with New Year Eve
festivities.
And so on. Yeah. But I had not reached the end of processing what I had started and even discussed with deputy ministers. And I wanted, when the year begins, when we go back, we go there full of purpose in terms of specific issues that I had identified. Remember, I had called a meeting, National Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners, and Provincial Commissioner to say, I'm troubled, I'm being troubled, and I was honest. I was being troubled by these matters and so on, and everybody else in the country was troubled. So I was still processing up and down and so on. Why not discuss on the 28th? I was processing, I had not circled. And then I circle at home in a rural area. And then my mind focuses on one thing. We had been all over. I was deployed in Cape Town and in the Eastern Cape myself on Christmas days and all of those things. And I circled for the first time. Then this thing comes together. I start piecing things faster than I had done all the time. And the answer was, write a directive so that when the year begins, you are all in part focused on these matters because they're troubling a lot of people. And I'm honest that these matters, in my observation, were troubling a lot of people and the country as a whole.
But, Minister, there was nothing that was going to happen in between the 31st and the official return. I know the police don't close and all of that, but the business of our country at that time, meaning everybody's withdrawn. And there was nothing urgent that will force you on the 31st of December to say, this, I have to issue this letter now. Why not wait because now it looks very suspicious. It's like a tender that is being awarded on the 28th of December. You're like, why? Everybody's on holiday. Even the mindset is now different. And you now drag us into this serious business on the 31st of December. It doesn't make any business sense, really.
That would add... that would add on my side that what did immediate mean? I knew that there would be nobody who will, as a matter of today, call a meeting and convey the message and so on. But I wanted all of us to have it so that at the beginning of the year, we were able to say there was a directive written on the 31st. And remember, there's nothing untoward about a minister writing a directive on the 31st. It could have been a different directive altogether from this one. It could have said at the beginning of the year, employ people or facilitate or whatever. It could have been any directive within the law. Now, it was this directive, and all I wanted was, let's focus early in the year on these matters, and I was quite troubled by them, as I am right now.
Now, Minister, there are alleged SMSs, WhatsApp exchange between Mokgotsi and Ngabinde about you. There's an allegation that Matlala bought a table at the ANC dinner, your table. I'll still come to that because the explanation you gave on the table, I don't accept that. All of these negative things about Matlala, who is arrested to have killed people, who has implicated minister on this or that, and you still, of all people, go and ask an affidavit from Matlala, who's in maximum prison. And in answering that question, actually, I just want to quote so I don't make a mistake. I think there was a bit of dishonesty there because you're saying the first answer is until I came in. You never, because you now realize on hindsight it was wrong for you to go and get an affidavit from a character like that. And you say, my legal team took their own initiative to obtain the affidavit. You said the initial, that was your original response. And when I intervened, you then say, no, it was my wish. And agreed to instructing them. So you give two answers on one question, that the lawyers acted on their own, which is unethical, and I point to that if they did that, they will be reported to LPC. There is no lawyer that can listen to you and out of feeling pity, without you giving them instruction, go to maximum prison to get an affidavit from a dangerous man. Then you say, no, I gave them instructions. Despite what is happening in this country about this man, despite what brings us here, because at the center of it is that Matlala takes decisions about this or that. If he's been told that PKTT is being disbanded and all of that, you still want to have something to do with such a person. Worse, on an official legal documents, which are going to go before Madlanga, before Parliament, and perhaps ultimately in court. Why would you want to associate with such a character? Worse, if you say you don't know him. Because I was, for instance, associated with Matlala. My wife's surname is Matlala. And it was immediately assumed that I know Matlala. I've never issued a statement. I've never written anything. I don't care what they think. I don't know the chap. But you, because you are lawyers, it's you. You pass all these big fences of maximum prison looking for an affidavit from an unethical man who's in prison. How do you justify that, Minister?
Now, let me read this. It will add another dimension. I may have used all those words, but what is actually written down is a straight answer to you. It says, Dear Mr. July, July is my lawyer. It says, I confirm that I act on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Matlala, my clients, who have directed that I send this email to you. I understand that you represent the police commissioner, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, at the Madlanga Commission. Well, I'm sure I meant police minister. My instructions are to present to you an affidavit deposed by Ms. Matlala. In essence, Ms. Matlala denies any dubious dealings with minister and wishes for what he terms General Mkhwanazi's false allegations to be investigated. For that purpose, the following documents are attached to this email. Then I attach those emails. Now, this suggests that even the lawyers never went to maximum prison. There was discussion between the two lawyers. After I had said, we are leaving no stone unturned where there is my name and concerns. Now remember, in the background, on a daily basis, if not on an hourly basis, people write false things about me and my name, and link me to people I'm not linked with or to in anything. And you have to there won't be any thing coming from heaven that would actually clarify the matter. So anything that is legal, anything that is proper in terms of documentation and all of that between the lawyers, and they found that possible, that it could be, not that they traveled, not that there's anything illegal. Because people on a daily basis, as I say, they write dotted lines, which I don't understand what they mean, because nobody out there has any confirmation of anything between me and Matlala. Absolutely nothing. And I can go anywhere and say people must remain behind and investigate anything linked, but they still do it on national television without a piece of evidence. Now, I don't want to spare any moment making sure or making efforts that I have no link with Matlala. That's why I even got my diary to the lawyers to say, here is my diary, in case you believe that you are merely defending me on something that I otherwise know, and then you are going to come with legal strategies. Now, you must know, this is my diary. I was not in Cape Town. I was elsewhere. And I never requested anyone to coordinate.